Congress Member of Parliament from Bengal has now reacted after her comments with regard to supporting, as it appeared, the Kaali poster led to a furor. But she's now given out this statement. Remember all of this with what she had said at the India Today Conclave. She says, I quote her here, "To all you Sanghis, lying will not make you better Hindus. I never bagged any film or poster or even mentioned the word smoking. What I do suggest is you visit my Ma Kaali in Tarapeeth to see what food and drink is offered as bhog. Joy Ma Tara," says Mahua Moitra. Now, as you can see on your screens right now, that statement comes with regard to a film which one of its highlight image is of a smoking goddess Kaali. Mahua Moitra says that we've been used to a meat-eating and alcohol-accepting Kaali, and these interpretations don't hurt her at all, but this has led to massive furor. She's now forced to give out this comment on social media, an angry charge there that she's saying, "Do not lie, I never mentioned the word smoking, and I do suggest you visit my Ma Kaali in Tarapeeth to see what food and drink is offered as bhog." The question is, now the film, an image of that film that is made by a filmmaker based in Canada, has led to much furor. Why use a cigarette-smoking goddess Kaali? The question that would you take this same license to creative liberty with any other religion? Or because you know that you can do it with the Hindu faith and get away perhaps the license that is put in the first place. But now this film and the furor around it, the controversy around it that has led to complaints as well, has become a massive political showdown. The Trinamool Congress, remember, because primarily based in the state of Bengal, where thousands and lakhs of people do worship the goddess Kaali. But at this point, with the reactions coming in of TMC MP, and we'll play out that comment as well to what Mahua Moitra had said. We listen in now exactly to what Mahua Moitra had said. What did she say with regard to the question over this film that was put to her? What did she say? And now the reactions coming in on that.
What's your opinion about projecting that film director who projected Goddess Kaali smoking? Now, many are claiming that it hurts religious sentiment. You were saying that something. Do you see that unconstitutional, or that's...
I frankly, to me, Goddess Kaali is how you view your God. Right? So some people's idea of God, if you go to Bhutan or you go to Sikkim, for example, when they do their puja in the morning, they give whiskey to God. Now, in some places in Uttar Pradesh, if you go there and you tell them that you're giving whiskey or giving something as prasad to God, they'll say, "Oh my God, that's blasphemous." So I think one's version of Kaali, or Kaali to me is a meat-eating, alcohol... accepting goddess. To me, that is the version of Kaali. And if you go to Tarapeeth and around all of them, you have all the sadhus smoking, all of that. That is the version of Kaali that people worship. So I think within Hinduism, being a Kaali worshipper, have the freedom to imagine my Kaali in that way. That is my freedom. And I don't think anyone's sentiments in that way should be hurt by that. I don't think that. I have the freedom to do it as much as you have the freedom to worship your God as a vegetarian, white cloth wearing.
So you have absolutely no problem with someone projecting?
I have absolutely no problem. I do think religion should remain in the personal ambit, and as long as I am not interfering in your space.
So this has become a big statement, because remember at this point what she said at the India Today Conclave was what she felt, that this is just an interpretation, and therefore there are ways in which you can see Ma Kaali, Goddess Kaali, where there is alcohol offered, or in the sense there is also a sacrifice that's done. But at this point, remember, why this gets more interesting is because the party that she belongs to, the All India Trinamool Congress, has distanced itself from the Member of Parliament, saying that the AITC strongly condemns such comments. It's not endorsed by the party in any manner or form. All these views expressed on Goddess Kaali have been made in her personal capacity, not endorsed by the party in any manner or form. So a very confident Mahua Moitra there reacting, but not getting the support of the party. Let's go across quickly to my colleague Akshita Anand-Gopal on this. Akshita, this has blown out of proportion, because what started as a controversial film poster, many had objected to it. But now with Mahua Moitra's comments, this has taken another layer at all. The BJP is charging at her. Her own party distancing herself from her comments.
The TMC essentially now distancing themselves and leaving Mahua Moitra to fight for herself here, knowing full well how sensitive, Pooja, the issue of Goddess Kaali is for the TMC in Bengal. So while on one hand you have Mahua Moitra saying, I said absolutely nothing wrong, I didn't back any film or poster, the reality is that in a way the TMC, the Trinamool Congress itself, seems to be implicating her by distancing themselves. They haven't chosen to defend her or say that, look, she hasn't said this. Instead they're saying she's voiced her own personal view and this isn't the party's. And essentially what this means is that perhaps Mahua Moitra could face a bit of trouble for the comments that she made within the party. At this point, it's very, very clear. It's crystal clear that Mahua Moitra is left to fend for herself, to face and also retort to all of the backlash that she is facing politically from the BJP, as you mentioned, over this entire issue. And the comments that she's made, essentially at the India Today Conclave East, has become the biggest talking point right now in this entire controversy over the Kaali Poster row. It's gone and it's snowballed into a much bigger political fight as well in Bengal, with the BJP latching onto this, the TMC essentially washing their hands off and saying, look, Mahua Moitra has to fend for herself. We have absolutely nothing to do with this.
And it's also pertinent to mention here that, yes, Goddess Kaali is known for drinking blood after killing a devil, but this has nothing to do with the smoking a cigarette that has shown, because that's clearly creative liberty. There's a LGBTQ community supporting flag also that she's holding. People haven't objected to that either. People have said, why show her smoking? But is this also now becoming, Akshita, in the backdrop of the killings and beheadings we have seen with regard to remarks on Prophet? The fact is that you can take this level of creative liberty only with one religion.
You know, this is something that's been debated time and again, Pooja, that it's a two-way street. You can't outrage in one case and say there should be tolerance in the other, and that's what it's largely coming down to. The political debate, the political narrative also is along these lines, saying if you outrage in one case, outrage in this too. If you're talking about tolerance in the other, then talk about tolerance here too. And that's what it's really coming down to. The political parties also seem to be taking stance on this, most of them saying it's unacceptable. And the fact that Mahua Moitra made these comments, I just want to highlight here, it's not just Mahua Moitra. Nusrat Jahan at the same platform at the India Today Conclave East showed a lot of restraint when talking about this. Again, understanding that there are very, very strong sentiments involved, especially when you look in Bengal itself for the Trinamool Congress. So she took a very careful line on this issue. And on the other hand, you have Mahua Moitra making comments that now she's having to defend herself over. So much so that the Trinamool Congress is saying that, look, whatever Mahua Moitra said at the India Today Conclave East, she has to defend herself. It has nothing to do with the party stand. So essentially what you highlighted here, comparing what happened, the backlash over Nupur Sharma's comment versus this, that's exactly what it's come down to between political parties as well.